Humanity has plateaued and is now beginning a rather steep decline because our priorities are wrong. Our focus is still on expansion and ascension. But what we need to be doing at this point is strengthening our foundations. We need to be going back to basics and reassessing our targets. What we need for the 21st century is a new alternative mentality for human progression. But what we have from those in power is a continuation, or an attempted continuation, of 18th, 19th and 20th century progress. The peak was when we got to the moon, really. That was as far as we needed to go. We were like, wow, we've done it. That's cool. What next? But obviously those in power want that kind of prestige. They want to be the champions of the human race. That's why people like Musk want to get to Mars. That is why the tech billionaires want to build futuristic cities. They want their names to go down in human history because their egos are weak. But here's the thing, progress is stalling because there is no further to go. The next steps are enormous, so our target instead should shift. Think about the development of medicine. In the late 19th and early 20th century, huge advances in medicine, huge changes in our quality of life based on those advances, and a relatively small amount of money pumped into it. Now we have billions and billions and billions being pumped into the medical industry, and not much is getting done. And some of those illnesses that were dealt with in the 20th century are coming back with a vengeance. We need to be assessing why. It's like building the Leaning Tower of Pisa. You get all the way up to the top and you notice the thing is a bit squint. You don't just keep building up, you take down your scaffolding and you start again at the base. Obviously not what they actually did, but you get the idea. What we are seeing now is that scaffolding falling on its own. That's why everything feels like it's falling apart, because the structures that we have built to develop human progression, to maintain, to support human progression, are literally collapsing. It is our job, instead of just letting it collapse, to take them down intentionally, carefully dismantle the system in order to rebuild it better, in order to achieve the progression that we want. And what we need to do in order to achieve that is refocus on the basics, which is human homeostasis in the context of our physical and social environment. We need to re-ground ourselves, re-center in an understanding of what it means to be a living being. We need to recognize that humans have a drive to maintain physiological homeostasis as well as emotional homeostasis. Those drives can only be understood within the context of the natural environment. But because we're humans, we also need to understand it in the context of our built environment and our social environment. I think someone could illustrate this quite nicely with human progression as one tower in the middle, and then we need to go back down and build a new one that supports it. Otherwise, it's not going to work. Otherwise, the whole fucking thing falls apart and we all fucking die.